Hello everyone, this is Garvit. I'm the founder and CEO at Electron Labs, and today I'm going to basically present a use case for the restaking concept and how restaking cloud can actually power certain applications. I'm going to talk about one of those applications. Before I just go into the use case itself, I just want to take 2 minutes to present actually what we do. So Electron is basically a ZK powerhouse. We essentially are building a computation compression engine which allows you to generate validity proofs for consensus protocols. So what that essentially means in a very simple way is that if you want to run the Ethereum consensus node as a smart contract on some other chain or any other chain for that matter, you would have a hard time doing that because consensus nodes are massive and smart contracts tend to be quite limited in computational resources. So we actually allow you to, we have this, prover technology which allows you to create these succinct proofs, which are really cheap to verify, anywhere on mobile phones or smart contracts, etc. So we're essentially able to compress down the computation significantly, making it really, really cheap to verify as a smart contract. So that's kind of what we do. That's our core engine, core technology. And yeah, basically this technology that we have developed can be combined, with Restaking Cloud to enable a very unique application, which is you can basically enable other chains to rent security from Ethereum. And let's try to understand, what I'm kind of trying to talk about here. So let's say you're an Alt L1 or let's say you're a Cosmos chain. Let's keep it simple. You can actually receive security. This is proof of stake security where the Ethereum consensus is essentially securing the consensus of the Cosmos chain. And this model actually, does not require any core changes to the core infrastructure of the Cosmos chain or Alt L1 and allows you to transition to a roll-up kind of architecture in a gradual way. And so that's kind of the concept. And this is probably the only technical slide I have today. So, we'll just spend some time here. So the idea, the way this works under the hood is that, so we know how restaking works, where you lock up staked ETH in a smart contract, which is basically enabling you to put up this capital for additional slashing conditions and earn rewards for whatever services you're trying to validate. What we go ahead and do is that we actually run the consensus node of the Alt L1 or Cosmos chain as an Ethereum smart contract, what this enables is that this ZK light client or ZK consensus code can now actually track everything that the Alt L1 validator is essentially doing now. So let's say they start producing blocks, the Alt L1 is producing blocks, and the validators are let's say they sign off on and malicious blocks that they shouldn't. This information can actually be tracked by the on-chain Ethereum, the on-chain ZK light client of the Alt L1, and once it figures out that okay, some malicious action has been taken by the validators, it can actually send this information to the staking contract, which can trigger slashing over there, right? Similarly, if these if these validators essentially sign off on valid blocks and you earn rewards, that information can again be sent back to the staking contract via this mechanism. On the flip side, we also run an Ethereum light client or the Ethereum ZK consensus client on the Alt L1, which allows you to track. So just to step back a bit here, so basically the staked ETH that has been given to the staking contract essentially becomes a delegation to the validator. Let me actually go to the slide. So basically the restakers from the Restaking Cloud, they've given some delegations indirectly to these Alt L1 validators essentially, and so it's like basically cross proof of stake, right? So you have simple proof of stake where you're receiving delegations from native coin holders. Now you're receiving delegations in the form of another coin from some other chain. It's just coming over a ultra secure messaging standard, and you're essentially receiving these indirect delegations in the form of ETH, and you're paying rewards in your native coin. Yeah, so basically in order to do that, the Alt L1 consensus has to track how much delegations has been given to the staking contract. And that information is again tracked by the Ethereum ZK consensus node on the Alt L1, which tracks how much how much stake has been given to each validator, what is the updated voting power as a result of that, and when it comes to distributing rewards, again it can factor in this information to decide how much rewards to actually give to the stakers on the staking contract. So that's kind of how it works under the hood. And in terms of the staking infrastructure, we can of course use the restaking infrastructure by Restaking Cloud. And we can invite all sorts of token holders. You can have your ETH holders or ETH derivatives. You can have USDC, directly staked into this as well. You can actually get L2 coins. So imagine like some L2, which was a roll up, also wanted to set up their alt L1, maybe some sort of plasma or sidechain or something. They can actually get that token to be restaked in this cloud and then start providing security to your alt L1 as well. If you are an alt L1, you're getting a lot of benefits out of this essentially. So like with alt L1s, like the cost of running an alternative chain is quite high. Especially if you're like a small application specific, you have very limited applications. It's hard to kind of incentivize validators to spend all that money in order to earn your coin because it's not accruing a lot of value. So this model actually allows you to improve your validator revenue because you're increasing their delegation that they have, while at the same time adding no additional infrastructure at all in the entire architecture anywhere. And you can also issue liquid staking token against the assets that have been staked on Ethereum. You can issue this LST on the alt L1 side, basically unlocking additional liquidity, which can then chase DeFi protocols and chase LP positions over there. And so again, as I said, it's quite costly to run these alt L1s. And what this model enables you is that basically Ethereum is a slightly premium asset as compared to your native coin if you're running an alt L1. And being a premium asset expects a lower yield on the amount staked, and they're anyways like earning yield elsewhere as well. So this allows you to actually get the same dollar value of security without without any increase, actually a reduction in the yield. So you can basically get the same dollar value of security at a lower token APY that you have to pay to validators. So this reduces your token emissions in general, reducing the operating cost of the network and thereby improving your overall tokenomics. Of course, you're able to market your product to the Ethereum ecosystem as well. There's increased alignment. You get ETH liquidity as well. So it's kind of generally, you're accessing the Ethereum users and liquidity a bit more seamlessly using this model. I just want to add here, like, in this process, there's no additional infrastructure that you need to run anywhere, like any additional node infrastructure particularly. This protocol exists entirely as smart contracts. And of course a ZK prover, which we have to run. You don't have to run that. So if you're a security provider, if you're a restaker, you don't have to run any additional nodes, any validator nodes, etc. at all. Like neither the validators of the alt L1, neither you as a staker have to do. So you can simply send a transaction using MetaMask, just like you do any other DeFi protocol, and that's it. You can basically start providing security to other chains and earning rewards on top of that. And in terms of adoption, like this can actually be done on Cosmos today. Like Cosmos SDK, which is used to build these Cosmos chains, is actually quite modular, and it supports. This is an experiment actually already happening in the Cosmos ecosystem where chains are trying to rent security from each other. It's called mesh security and interchain security. So we're just kind of trying to extend those same modules and plug them into the Restaking Cloud so that you can start renting security from Ethereum as well. So and we are actually working with a couple of chains on this, this Archway, Nibiru, and a bunch of others that we're working with to make this happen. So these chains will actually receive ETH delegations and pay rewards in their native coin, right? So this will actually happen. And this is possible today on the Cosmos and the substrate architecture as well, I guess, from Polkadot. It can be extended to other chains, which are not so modular because they were not designed for this stuff in the first place, but with some additional modules, it's possible to do it. It's possible to do it without adding additional modules as well, although the features become a little bit limited. But yeah, like this can be done in general today. It's not that hard actually. And like just talking a bit about again a use case, like there's actually demand for this today. Like recently, Celo and Canto both announced that they're moving away from the L1 architecture to the roll-up architecture. Now imagine like the actual decision to transition, and taking that decision at a leadership level. You're giving up so much infrastructure that you've already been running successfully. Your whole ecosystem is set up around that. Your validators are a large part of your ecosystem. And you're having to give up this infrastructure which is tried and tested. You're moving to the roll-up architecture, which is not as tried and tested at all. This is quite new architecture, the roll-up architecture. You're giving up your sovereignty. This is a massive drastic change. So, and these guys still took the decision to transition. So there's clearly a very strong desire to transition, but it's a drastic change. So the approach that we are presenting here actually allows you to transition to a Ethereum L2 roll-up Validium kind of architecture in a more transitory approach, in a gradual approach, where you can actually take decisions step by step and retain your sovereignty as well when you fully transition. And yeah, that's all the use case I want to talk about. I'll just take 2 minutes to present a bit of technical architecture as well, and where we are at with, especially with that today. So as I said, this requires running ZK consensus nodes on either side. So we have already built the ZK provers for the Cosmos consensus. So consensus is mostly a bunch of validator signatures. So we already done it for the validator signature part. The rest of the consensus should happen within this year. So so this 60x is where the practicality comes from. If you actually directly ran the consensus on chain, it will cost you significantly higher compared to if you actually ZK compress it. And the same thing, so we have done this for Ethereum as well. Ethereum ZK Lite client is available as a Cosm, Wasm and a Neo smart contract. Just one thing I want to mention here, that if the Ethereum ZK Lite client is powered by Altair committee, which is not exactly very secure. So we're actually trying to move to something where we'll ZK prove the full consensus going forward. But yeah, this is again lots of progress. From the ZK side, this is essentially a solved problem. We just have to kind of go ahead and build the product. Yeah, next steps for us are basically we are in the process of onboarding chains. We're already making some progress with it, we plan to onboard more going forward. We also plan to integrate directly. So as I said, Cosmos is experimenting with this model called interchain security and mesh security, where chains can sort of rent security from each other and provide security to each other. And since Cosmos SDK is quite modular, they can already build this. They didn't need a Restaking Cloud or something like that to make it happen. So our plan is to actually go ahead and directly integrate into that architecture, where there's already a community being built around that, and that will basically unlock lots of demand for this kind of product. And yeah, if you're interested, this is just a bit of a technical architecture. I'll skip this one, I think. Yeah, that's all I wanted to present. Yeah, if you have any questions, we'd love to take them.
You said Cosmos SDK, right? But is it only for, you have to do this for every chain? Like Polygon has CDK, now OP has OP Stack. Is it something that when you say the gradual transition, how does it help from going from one architecture to another architecture? They still need to do a switch at some point, complete switch. They cannot just 30-40%. But what is the bridge? What are you recommending? Is it the economic security will be based on the ETH, or how does this work?
Sure. So I think the biggest transition is actually on the business side, not necessarily on the technical side, where you're getting closer to the Ethereum community and then testing that part out.
Right.
So that when you actually do transition the technical architecture in future, the business part is actually sorted. So the justification to that transition will be easier. And anyways, going forward, we actually, we plan to add more sort of security features into this that will allow it to be in a security model side. So our model is currently closer to a Validium, but it will eventually get closer to a roll-up as we figure out more ways to transfer security while keeping the POS consensus of the Alt L1 in the same place.
And this ZK client that you mentioned is the proof of consensus. Is it operational?
Yes. We actually operate a bridge on mainnet, which powers near to Ethereum and Ethereum to near transactions. And this is actually running on, this is actually maintaining the ZK Lite clients on either side. So we do have, this is deployed on mainnet. We have the ZK Lite client for near deployed on Ethereum, and the ZK Lite client for Ethereum deployed on near. And this is actually powering transactions. And as a result, in that bridge, we actually don't need any multisig to sort of secure that bridge, because it's kind of powered by consensus. So yeah, so this one is basically, this thing is actually live, except not for Solana, but near. This is live today actually. Yeah, on mainnet. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.